Bandwidth and hosting for BagelTechFoto is provided by UK2.net. Web hosting for everyone.
The next thing that we're going to do is to look at the Lasso tools. Now, the Lasso tools come in three different kinds. They're here, just on the left-hand side. And again, if you get them using the L key, that's your shortcut. If you just hit the little black bit at the bottom there, you'll see that there's three types of Lasso tool. We've got the standard one at the top there. Then we've got the polygonal Lasso, which allows us to draw straight lines. And finally, we've got the intelligent Lasso tool that does magnetic grab tos on some of the shapes that we can see. So very, very simple, very, very easy to do. I've opened a picture of some lips up here, and you can see that we'll go with the oval lasso to start off with. And what we're going to do is just take a general selection around the outside of the girl's lips. There we go. And that gives us a marching outline. Now we can draw this freehand, and if we didn't like the selection, we can add to it by using the shift key. That gives us a little plus sign there. And we just draw out where we thought we actually wanted to go, and that adds that very area to the selection. Or if we hold the Alt key down, then what that's going to do is take away from the selection. So I can take away the area I've just drawn. Oops, I've gone a little bit inside, so I just use my plus tool again and go back to where I actually wanted it. There we go. A general selection around the outside. If I then do a feather, just like we did before with the first lesson on marquee and move, reduce that a little bit, we don't want that much. There we go. And if I hit now Command and J, or Control J if you're using Windows, what we'll end up with is a separation of the area, and you can see there we've got a feathered area. Now that could be because we've got a mouth that just looks the wrong shape because of the angle that we shot it, or the model pulled the face and we don't want that mouth around. Go back to the Move tool and we can move the mouth into different positions. Okay, so there you can see we can drop the mouth. And again, with some ethnicities, this could be actually quite a useful thing to use if we want to change the distance from the nose to the mouth. So we'll move ours up just a shade there, and that gives us the ability then to have a slightly shorter distance between the nose and the top lips, which could be just a bit more appealing. Okay, if we use Command and E, that'll take that back down to one layer just again as we did before. Right, the other thing that we can use the Lasso tool for is to draw straight lines. Now, there's nothing really particularly here that I want to draw a dead straight line on, but it draws out straight lines from point to point. So again, I can come around here and just do it in single clicks and straight lines, and I'll get the area that I want just as I did before. Double click and it'll finish the circle off. Same again, go to feather. Might want to apply a little bit more this time because of the fact we've got straight lines rather than a nice curve. And if we do that, hit Command and J, then what you'll see again is that we've got the ability to move the lips around once more. And we've still got a bit of a blur on them. Okay, so that's very easy. And finally, the last one is the magnetic Lasso tool. Very, very useful. Here we can do round the teeth. Now, one of the things that you do with models regularly is just to whiten the teeth a little bit. Tams in here has got extremely good teeth anyway, so we're not going to have to do too much. But what happens is that the magnetic tool grabs to the edge of where we're selecting. It's an intelligent edge finder, if you like, to a certain degree. Now, one of the colours that we don't want in teeth is yellow. Now, there's lots and lots of ways of doing this, but essentially you only want to go for the front teeth. And you want to try and make sure you don't get any gum or any lip in those front teeth. I'll do this rather quickly so it won't be exactly perfect. But you can see it takes the edge pretty well. It's not too bad at all. And when we get to there, we've got a nice marching outline around the outside. Now, we don't want to duplicate this layer or go anywhere with it. So what we want to do is actually change just the yellows in here. We'll use this in conjunction with the Hue tool. So if we pick Command and U, or Control and U if you're on Windows, then what you can see there is we've got a colour palette up. Gives us the opportunity to change the shading or the saturation. This one gives us a pull down, and it allows us to select only the yellows in the highlighted selection. Remember, when we get the marching outline, we're only going to do things that are inside that area. We're not going to touch any other part of the photograph as well. So now what we'll do is we've got yellows highlighted. We're going to take the saturation of yellow way down. So you can just see there, if we've got maximum yellows, you can see where the yellows would be highlighted there. There's the orange stains. If we take it down to 0, those are going to be very light yellows. But if we move it all the way to the left, we're going to take all levels of yellow out of the image completely. Click OK, and that's gone. Command and D, and that gives her a marching outline selection. It disappears as well. One of the other things that we can do with that is we can whiten the teeth. So if we go back to Command and U and get that selection up, we can go back to the yellow layer, and we can take away the saturation once again. And also we can just use lightness here to boost the brightness of those teeth relative to the rest of the image. And that may give us a nice sparkly look if we're using this for a teeth commercial. So there you go. Those are the 3 basic lasso tools. The basic lasso that draws, the polygonal lasso that draws you straight lines, and then the magnetic lasso which will find your straight edges for you. Don't forget to use it in conjunction with the feather tool that we used earlier on, and you can get some great effects. Enjoy your photoshopping. I'll see you next time.
Bandwidth and hosting for BagelTechFoto is provided by UK2.net. Web hosting for everyone.